Can the brand new Galaxy Z Fold 7 take on the iPhone 16 Pro Max in terms of the cameras? Well, let's find out. Now let's get started with the ultra-wide first. This is ultra-wide video right here. They're both 12 megapixel sensors, which is impressive since of course this is a foldable, so it's doing crazy work in terms of being super thin and having a great camera system, which I'll talk about that 200 megapixel in just a second. But look at that beautiful view. I can also see a little bit more dynamic range in the Samsung, which is very interesting. I really like how the iPhone is keeping the HDR a little bit nicer here. And you can see in the bricks more detail. With the church building right here, you can see that the iPhone has better HDR. It's also wider. And this is a cropped in photo for detail. It's really hard to tell because there's a lot of factors, sharpening, contrast, but I think the iPhone actually has more detail in this ultra-wide photo. And now comparing them on my screen, I noticed that the iPhone is a lot more warm. It brings up the shadows more. It's also quite a bit wider, where it's like a 0.5 instead of a 0.6. And now for some selfie photos. It looks like the Samsung has better HDR here, but there's more detail in my shirt and my face in the iPhone. Here you can see a lot more detail in the bricks with better HDR behind me. Overall, a lot better on the iPhone. And here, this is a portrait selfie, so much more background blur, where both of them are on the default setting, so it looks real nice. And now let's do selfie video on both. There should be a difference here because we have a 10 megapixel cam on the Samsung and 12 on the iPhone. You guys let me know any differences you see in the quality, and also you hear with the microphone as well. Now if I go back against the sun, let's see what looks better. Honestly, it's pretty hard to tell. Looks like the iPhone is keeping my face a little bit brighter, so I wonder how the color balance is. You guys let me know your thoughts on the difference down in the comment section. Now I'm gonna test the main camera for stabilization, see which phone stabilizes it better. On the screen, it actually looks like the Samsung is stabilizing better in terms of the video, but of course in post it should look a little bit different. So, man, both phones look pretty good. And here's some HDR video. You can look at how the Samsung is overall pretty dark, and it just doesn't change the exposure fast enough compared to the iPhone, which is really nice, keeping those trees nice and bright and transitioning well. Here's HDR photos right here. You can see that the iPhone is able to kind of keep it all overall balanced. They both do a pretty dang good job, but I think the iPhone retains the most detail without looking washed out. This one's interesting because the Samsung keeps it nice and bright, the colors pop, the tree's a little bit brighter, does a overall better job, I think. But the biggest difference is this. Look at how the iPhone retained the detail in those clouds and the colors in this tunnel. Absolutely huge win for the iPhone. Now we have 1x cinematic video versus portrait blur video. I'd say the Fold is a little bit too blurry right behind him. It almost looks unreal, unnatural, compared to the iPhone, which has this nice natural blur. And for 2x, we have kind of the same thing where the Samsung looks really blurry, like right behind him. It doesn't have that really nice roll off like the iPhone does. Now the cool thing about this Z Fold that I haven't known before is that it actually does 3x portrait video, whereas the iPhone is limited to 2x. It cannot take advantage of that 5x camera for portrait because it already is a little bit blurry, but it's really cool to see how you can legit use that 3x camera with portrait blur. So I wonder if it looks any good. Definitely changes the perspective though. Now for portrait photos, you can see how the iPhone retains the brightness on Ben here. The background looks really nice. You got that nice warm glow. Now for this one, I don't really like the colors of the Samsung, but the blurring for this 2x portrait worked really well on the Samsung. It also retained the most detail in this shot where it's in the shadows. Here we have a 5x portrait, which looks amazing on the iPhone because the Fold actually has a 3x lens and it just crops into 5x for these portrait shots, so much better on the iPhone. But first, our sponsor Viaim has their OpenNote headphones that record important meetings and with one button automatically transcribe your recordings accurately with smart formatting, showing you important details and even translating everything into 16 different languages, which is awesome. Other great features include summarizing your transcripts and even creating to-do lists with AI. And not only that, it can even transcribe YouTube videos, podcasts, and everything on your phone, including phone calls. These open-ear headphones are IP55 dust and water resistant that also sound great thanks to 18 by 11 millimeter high polymer racetrack speakers without any sound leakage because of inverse phase sound cancellation, which is genius. These buds are comfortable to wear all day with a whopping 19 hours of battery life on the buds and up to 53 hours total with the case. So go ahead and check out these awesome earbuds for yourself using the links down in the description and pinned comment below. And now we have zoom video. This is the 2x crop from the main, which both of them look pretty nice. I'd say the iPhone looks a little bit more sharp in terms of details. Then we have the 3x, which actually gives the Samsung an advantage because it has a 3x optical telephoto lens, so a little bit better than the iPhone's 3x crop that it's using. Now we have 5x, which completely reverses that because the iPhone has a 5x tetra prism lens, so it looks super sharp here. And finally, we have 12x, which is the furthest that the Samsung will go. Look at that massive difference. The iPhone looks so much better. It's just insane. And same thing now getting into photos. Very, very far, 25x zoom, and the iPhone once again looks better. Here's another one where you have so much more detail on the iPhone with this billboard. Now we have the Statue of Liberty. Looks so much better on the iPhone. On the Samsung, it's just a blur. Here we have a telephoto shot of some streets, and I'd say the iPhone looks a little bit better with better contrast, while the Samsung's a little bit too gray and washed out. And we have this very far shot here, and they both look pretty good. I'd say the Samsung actually does a better job of bringing up the shadows. All right, so behind me I have this protest going on. So I want to test out the audio mix features to get rid of background noise, just to see like if you're somewhere quite loud with people talking on a loudspeaker behind you, which one sounds the most natural and gets rid of all of that extra background noise. You guys let me know down in the comment section below. And here we have some general detail shots on the main camera, just comparing them. They both look really, really good, especially with that 200 megapixel sensor on the Samsung. Looks great. This is probably one of the biggest strong suits of the Z Fold 7. But over here on this photo, it looks like the iPhone's actually a little bit more detailed. And now let's get into the night mode and nighttime shots. I have a ultra wide video on both. It's getting pretty dark out. You can see we're here at the Galaxy Unpacked event here. It's starting to get a little bit dark. It's going to start getting darker. We're going to start taking some of those portrait mode night shots and night shots in general. So let's transition into that. Now what we're going to do is test Apple's cleanup tool versus their generative edit, Samsung's with Gemini right here. So let me go ahead and test it out on the Galaxy. I'm going to hit the little AI button right there. I'm gonna tap these people in the background. All right, you guys can see right here, left side is the original, right side is the fix. You could actually zoom in like this. Look at how well it even got her jeans right there in the crack. This is basically a perfect photo, getting rid of people in the background. And now let's do it on the iPhone. Let's go ahead and click edit. Let's go to the cleanup tool. Okay, sweet, it actually detected some people in the background. So if I tap on them, okay, there that goes. Get rid right there. And what in the world? Okay, let's get rid of those pants right there. This is not...
Bro, this is embarrassing.
What in the world is that?
What is that?
Oh, look at that. That is absolutely terrible. Okay, well, I guess that's the best it did. Just look at that difference, guys. It is massive. Apple's cleanup tool fails compared to the generative AI that we have on the Z Fold 7. It just kills it. And now we have some night photos where this is a very backlit sign behind them, and I think it actually looks a little bit nicer on the Fold. Coming in here, it's the opposite. The iPhone looks so much more clean and crisp with the darks being nice and dark instead of just gray and weird. And here with the Galaxy Unpacked sign behind them, there's so much glare and it just really distracting on the Fold. The iPhone puts out a much better photo. And same thing here, the Samsung has struggles with the ultra wide with a lot of just grayness, lack of contrast and detail. And you kind of see that everywhere. Even with this 1X photo right here, the Samsung is still struggling. And now it's definitely nighttime. We went out to Times Square in New York. I want to do some portrait video cinematic mode. So let's see which one kind of tracks on Ben better. Let's look at what does better in terms of the low light performance, in terms of the blur, what looks more natural. A lot of people record like this, you know, out here, so lots of faces. Let's see what performs the best. So far, both look really, really nice. Oh, so it did switch, but now, hey, as soon as you turn back, it locks back in. That's pretty cool. This is a 1x portrait, and I really like how the iPhone is keeping it more kind of put together with the bokeh balls in the back, whereas the Samsung's a little bit washed out and kind of blurry. Here inside, the Samsung just failed. Like, you have none of that detail in the display. And same thing here, all of the billboards are just washed out. All the color, everything, detail's gone. iPhone looks absolutely killer in this photo. And same thing for this 5X, that lady behind Ben is like not blurred at all while other people are. It just looks so weird. Here is some regular 1X camera video. And for some reason here, the Samsung actually started to kill it. Maybe it's that 200 megapixel main lens that's really nice and fine-tuned, but the iPhone didn't look that good here. But here, for this very far, I think 25x zoom shot, the Samsung completely failed because it only has a 3x optical. And same thing for the video. Look at that lack of detail on the Samsung. Looks absolutely terrible compared to the iPhone. And here we have Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, that showed up at Galaxy Unpacked. Look at how much better it is on the iPhone. This is like a concert kind of scenario, which a lot of people use zoom cameras for video like this. And now let's do some selfie video over here with a lot of distracting lights in the background. I know the iPhone, I think, did quite a bit better earlier, but now that I'm looking at it, I almost think that the dynamic range for nighttime video is turning out to be better on the Samsung for whatever reason. I guess we'll see how the audio sounds, let me know. But the iPhone just looks so blue, like the white balance is not working out, and the dynamic range behind me looks worse on the iPhone at night for some reason. The Samsung is just killing it. And finally, we have some night selfies right here. The Samsung, for some reason, has some either motion blur or something where just everything looks terrible. This is a portrait selfie, and once again, the iPhone looks a little bit better, where you have a lot more blur in the background. And finally, this photo is a very, very dark selfie where I don't like how the iPhone just made the screen all yellow. I prefer the Samsung's photo here. And this is a very dark night mode shot of Ben right here. The Samsung just looks so weird and washed out and just not grit at all. And this is also a very dark night mode portrait, which I'd say the iPhone does look better here in terms of detail. This is a 2x portrait. Absolutely killed it on the iPhone. So much better than the Samsung that's all washed out like crazy. And finally, we have this funny little NYPD smart car, which was pretty hilarious to me. This photo looks better on the iPhone, in my opinion. And there you guys go. That was our camera battle between the iPhone and the Z Fold 7. It's raining down on us right now. It's like 12 o'clock at night. That was a very long day, but let me know your thoughts on which one wins down in the comment section below. My personal opinion is that the iPhone is still the winner because, of course, it doesn't have to sacrifice anything to get such a nice foldable design. I love that you have the 200 megapixel camera. It definitely kills it, but the selfie isn't that great, and that 10 megapixel telephoto also not as great, but what can you expect with such a great design that's insanely thin like this? So definitely subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.